podcast. What's up, man? I got my man with me, professional boxer, trainer, Greg Hackett. What's up, player?
What's the deal? How you feeling, man?
How you?
I'm good. How about you?
All good, man. Let us know a little bit about yourself and how you get into fighting and where you from, all that type of stuff.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, born and raised. Born in '86.
Okay.
Started boxing because of you know how it is in Philly, fighting outside. Just keep getting in fights everywhere I go. I was always the new kid in the neighborhood. I moved a lot. Um, my mom just suggested one day you need to go to the gym. She like you need to get in the gym. I
Right.
found a gym around the corner in Germantown called Waterview. That was the first gym I ever jumped in. But my dad took me to the gym when I was younger, but that was the first time I really signed up to box. I was like 12 going on 13, and that's when it all, kicked off.
So you from North Philly?
So my mom is born in Abbotsford and my father from East Falls. So I'm like, in between there as a little kid. Then I lived in Frankfurt a little bit. Then I lived in Germantown,
Right.
Logan, just all over, moving around.
All right. So you right now you're an active fighter and a trainer.
Yeah,
How do
yeah.
that work?
I
How do that
mean,
work?
fighting for me, like, is like, how dudes jump on dirt bikes and they just go have a good time. Yeah, that's how I look at fighting. It's just exciting to me. But training is like I'm really a trainer. Like I don't play with my fighter. So, I separated easily because I ain't looking at the fight,
Right.
as something crazy. It's just fun for me.
Right.
So I really just focus on the fighters, really.
Yeah. So who's some of the people you training right now? Who's some of the fighters you training right now?
I got Jesse Hart right now. He's 30-3. I had him for his last two fights. I got an undefeated junior lightweight. That's 130 pounds. Named Jabril Noble. He from Philly. I got a featherweight that's from Reading. His name Josephat Ortiz. He just fought last night. And I got a couple other guys I just helped with, and I got a bunch of amateurs.
Okay. Okay. So Jesse Hart, uh you said what's the name? Ortiz? What's his first name?
Josephat Ortiz and,
Okay. And
and Jabril Noble.
number all the pro
Yeah,
fighters right now.
yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So how did you get it? Like what made you turn into training?
I always had an eye for the game, and my old coach Kevin Carmody, he used to tell me all the time. He said, "You love boxing, like you gonna do something in boxing." And he was like, "You might be a coach, a manager, or something, because you just love it." So when I was like 26, I remember I was in the gym one day and I was watching the little kids, and it was playing around too much, but it was a couple of them that had potential. So I was
Right.
like, "Yo," I just was saying to all the other coaches in the gym, I'm like, "Yo, we gonna get these dudes ready. You know what I mean? We gonna really get them ready." So we got them ready for the Golden Gloves, and that was like probably 2012, something like that. So that's how I
Right.
started coaching.
All right. So you've been doing it for about roughly 11 years.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. You like it, right?
I love it.
Yeah. So were you training at, like, if somebody wanted to come and train with Greg, where do they come? Where do they come at?
Right now, I'm down Fifth and Bricks at 365, boxing and fitness.
Okay. All right. That's the new gym, right? That's like a new gym.
Yeah, it's been out for like 2 years, I believe, but I only been down there probably like 6 months.
Okay. Okay. Like, so you got a fight coming up this weekend, right? Am I right?
Yeah, I'm fighting this Saturday. Yep,
And who you fighting?
I'm fighting a dude named Maurice Horn. Yep, he
You from
from
Philly?
Philly, but he from Philly, but like he been out Delaware for years. So to me, he from Delaware.
Okay. Right. What's his record?
I think he's 6-1.
Okay. Oh, so
Yeah,
he just started. He just getting into it.
yeah, but he the same age as me, so he been around, but I don't know what stalled him out in the pro career though.
Okay. So what's your record?
I got 3 wins, 22 losses, and one draw.
3 wins, 22 losses.
Yeah, that's boxing for you.
Yeah, that's boxing. Wow, at least you honor enough to say that you lost 22 times.
That's if anybody that know boxing, you know what I mean. If you don't have a promoter, if you don't have a manager, that shit gonna happen to you. And then for me, at first, I'm like, I was getting frustrated. I'm like, yo, what are they watching? Like, what, you know what I mean? Is they really calling this shit straight? Or, and then I realized, like, later on when Mayweather started talking about A side, B side, like that's really how it go. Like, you could be you could be whooping the guy ass, but if you don't knock him out, and the promoters and shit is behind him, they give him the win. You know what I mean? That's how it go. And I put myself in a lot of those situations because I was managing myself.
To
You
yourself.
left it. Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, I thought you left it, Joe.
No, no, no. I had to something came out. I had to take myself off screen, but I was still here.
Yeah, I managed myself my whole career, and of course I didn't know what I'm doing because nobody taught me about the business of boxing. But what I did was I said to myself, you know what? I might not become champion because of how shit turned out, but I can learn a whole lot from the sport. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? If I just go ahead and just educate myself during these fights. So what I mean by that is I learned who was the promoter, I learned who was the matchmaker, I learned who was the managers of the fighters, I learned who was driving us from the airport. I learned everything I needed to learn to keep up with the game, so that way I would know how to move fighters when I became a manager or a trainer. You know what I mean? Shit like that.
Cool. So you manage now too?
Yeah, I got one fighter that I do manage. Yep.
Okay. All right. So any of them fights that you did you fight anybody that's notable that we know that anybody
I,
know?
I fought Jared Hurd in his first main event. It was a 6 rounder down in Maryland. He later on became world champion. But honestly, the fight never came out on tape. But they said they ain't had the tape. But honestly, I think I beat him that night.
Yeah.
And Jared
Yeah.
Hurd ended up losing in the J Rock.
Yeah. I take face value. I think you won that night. And since the tape ain't never come out, so
Real shit.
yeah. So what else? Like what else you got going on for yourself?
I mean, of course, you know what I mean? I talk about boxing. A lot of people say I'm one of the best analysts in boxing when it comes to breaking down the fights and stuff like that. So I got a YouTube channel. It's called GHB TV. And think I got like 10,000 subscribers right now. So that's doing pretty good. You know what I mean? Jumping off the ground. I've been trying to
Yeah.
focus on that. Just being in the gym though, just getting these fighters ready.
All right. So what you think about like um Terrence Crawford and the Boots situation? You think they gonna fight, or you think is it do that fight have to happen, or do Boots gotta wait till he move up? What's
If we just talking boxing, that fight got to happen. And why it has
right?
to happen is because we talking about two of the most highly skilled fighters in the world
Right.
currently. You know what I mean? So if we talking just strictly boxing, yeah, it got to happen. Then why it may not happen is because of the business side. The business side, what they try to tell people is, oh, this one guy doesn't have enough under his belt to really be in there with a Terrence Crawford, or they might say, oh, he hasn't done enough, or they might say, he doesn't have enough fan base, enough fans behind him to push this fight. Therefore, a pay-per-view won't sell. But I think that's false. I think that would be like one of the craziest fights right now at this time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
I hope it do
Right.
happen.
Right. So who you what's a fight that you want to see that ain't nobody see yet? Like each weight class, who you want to see? Who you want to see?
I mean, at 100 and so if we say at 135 pounds, I want to see Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson because they
Okay.
both at 35 right now. At 140 pounds, I want to see Devin Haney versus Subriel Matias. At 47, we just talked about Terrence Crawford and Boots. I want to see that fight. At 54, I want to see Tim Tszyu versus Jamel Charlo. At 160 pounds, it's a toss up at 60. It's a bunch of guys running around at 60. It's a big dude. I think he from Kazakhstan or something like that. His name Janibek. I want to see him fight. I forgot the boy name Southpaw, but that'd be a great one. Then at 168, I want to see Jesse Hart and David Benavidez. I think that'd be a great fight. At
Okay.
light heavyweight, I want to see Dmitry Bivol versus Arthur Beterbiev, and then at heavyweight, I want to see Wilder and Joshua.
Joshua. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. So out of the first one, Tank and Shakur Stevenson, who you take? Who you got?
I mean, Shakur is the better skilled fighter. He the more poised fighter. But Tank got that same he got that same level of composure. But the thing is, the difference in that fight is the power. I mean, Tank we already know is a super puncher. You know what I mean? Shakur is very sharp. To be honest, to be respectful to the game, I can't pick one. But Tank is my favorite though. He is my
Okay.
favorite out of them two.
All right. And the next one.
At 40, Devin and Matias. Matias is like he just a worst nightmare for a dude. If you don't know how to get a guy up off you, or if you ain't composed enough to be in there with him and relax, because he got great power. I think he 20-1 right now with 20 knockouts. You know what I mean? A lot of dudes don't want to fight him, but Devin is a hell of a boxer. You know what I mean? So I think if they fight Dev, as long as Dev don't get caught with a big shot, he'd be cool. But if Matias could get close to him and hurt him, it'll be a tough joint to get out of.
All right. Now we on Devin. Do you think his dad talked too much?
No, because it's like this. The reason I say no is because if you moved a product on your own, how
Right.
else are you gonna get people to
Right.
realize?
That's the same thing I was thinking.
Like
That's the
like
same thing. He got to do that. He
yeah,
got to push it.
I got one guy. I only got one guy, so I got to make the world believe he the best thing out here.
Right.
So somebody got to talk for him because his job is to fight.
Right.
So he got to do the fighting, and his dad got to do the talking.
Right. All right. So who you think Boots got next? Who Boots got next?
I think it'll be either Keith Thurman or Mario Barrios, one of them dudes.
You think Boots will knock out Keith Thurman? Let's keep it real.
I think Boots will knock him out like in the 10th round. It'll be late. It'll
It'll
be
be
late,
late.
like the 10th round, 10th, 11th round. Yeah.
All right. All right. So are you saying you want to see Boots and
Crawford,
um Crawford?
for sure.
What's your prediction of that fight?
The thing is, right, you got, like I said earlier, you got two of the most highly skilled fighters. So the first thing is going to be the chess match. Boots is the younger man, but if you be fair, Crawford is the more experienced man. So that make him a little bit smarter. And I mean, that don't mean he is smarter, but that makes him a little bit smarter because he been through a little bit more.
Right.
Um, the power, I feel like they both got good power. They both got real good power. I think Boots is a little faster for sure, but Crawford is accurate. He's real accurate. He got a solid punch on him. Um, if Crawford was to beat Boots, it got to happen two ways. Either he got to try to outsmart him and make it a dirty fight, you know what I mean, make it a rough, tough fight for Boots, something that he ain't never been through, and hopefully he catch him with a shot. Not saying I hope that, but I'm just saying, for his sake, in there with
Right.
Boots, he would have to hope that he land a big shot. But Boots is so fast and so smart, he could win it just off boxing, or he can get the knockout. You know what I mean? He
Right.
can, and I think he can force the knockout, but he don't have to force it. But I think he got that kind of speed where he could jump on you, and you might not feel like it that night. Especially being that Bud like 30, he almost 36 years old. He getting, you know what I mean, he getting up there, so he might not feel like dealing with that. And I think Boots could outpoint him or knock him out. It'll be a great fight.
Right. Let's talk about Philly fighters. Who the top fighters in the city right now in our city, Philly?
I mean, Philly, man, we got a lot of fighters. You still got Cool Boy. He's still one of the top guys.
Cool
You know what I
boy.
mean? Steve Fulton, Boots, Jesse, Julian's still around. He just got a win like earlier this week. Um, Let me see. You got Atif Overton. He coming up. He a light heavyweight. I think he eight
Okay.
and 0 or 9-0 now. He just scored a nice knockout the other night. Shit, man, we got a lot of fighters, man. I don't want to be disrespectful, but we got a lot of fighters. Joey DeWaco still doing his thing. B.Y. Jennings still, he looking for a fight. The guys is still around. You know what I mean? We got a lot of fighters.
Right. So give me your top give me like your top 10 fighters of all time. Not just Philly, all time.
So my top 10 all time, I'm gonna go all the way back to Sugar Ray Robinson. Sugar
Okay.
Ray Robinson for that time was ahead of his time. Um, Beautiful footwork, hand speed, punching power. You know what I mean? He could knock you out backing up. I mean, he could chase you down. He could box you. He could do it all. So I'm gonna say Sugar Ray Robinson, Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali, sharp heavyweight, light on his feet, fast hands, sneaky puncher. Number three, I'm gonna say number three to me, James Toney. James Toney fought from 154 pounds all the way up to heavyweight, never been
Right.
stopped. He got
Yeah.
77 wins, 10 losses, never been stopped. Great fighter. He'll fight anybody any given time. Um,
Yeah.
Number four, Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones just, we already know what Roy brought to the table. He was exciting. Going to go see Roy was like going to go see an action movie. You know what I'm saying? Um, that's four. I'm gonna say number five is I was about to say uh what's my man name from Roberto Duran. Roberto
Roberto
Duran.
Duran.
He
Yeah.
another one. He another one. He turned pro at like 126 pounds. He fought all the way up to light heavyweight. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Um, that's that. What's that? Five. Uh, Number six. I'm gonna say probably Bernard Hopkins. You know what I mean? Bernard Hopkins is one of the best technical fighters in the game ever. You know what I mean? And he went against the odds. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody was on his side. Nobody liked him. He wasn't marketable. You know what I mean? But he could fight. And he beat a
Right.
lot of dudes. He beat a lot of dudes he wasn't supposed to beat. And he ain't stopped fighting until he was 50 something. So you gotta give him his credit. I mean, I'm
Right.
not a big fan of Bernard personally, but when it comes to boxing, I gotta give him his
Yeah.
flowers. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, Number seven, I'm gonna say for me, Sweet Pea Whitaker. Pernell Whitaker was, I mean, he just was like a magician in there. You couldn't touch him. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he did what he wanted. He fought on his own time. Like, I mean, he was just on whatever he wanted to do. That's seven. Number eight, shit. Number eight, I'm gonna say like Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier, 100. He probably was 190 pounds in his prime. He fighting
Right.
dudes that's like 220. He knocking them out with a left hook. We already know what Joe Frazier get into. Um, Big heart. Number nine, number nine, probably say Hector Camacho. I just love what he brought to the table. Hector
Right.
Camacho sharp. You know what I mean, southpaw, good speed, good boxing ability. He show you how to box a guy all night. Um,
Yeah.
and then and then number 10 probably be for me, probably like Sugar Ray Leonard.
Cool. That was a dope too. All right,
Yeah.
now, name a fighter that's from Philly that you know that should have went pro and should have been like a goat, like great, but that it didn't go his way.
I got a guy, right? All right, I got a couple guys. I got one guy named Daryl Jones, right? I fought Daryl Jones in the amateurs, light skin ball, freckles all over his face. He turned pro, but he just stopped fighting. I think he didn't like the business part. He was 4-0 when he retired. And he just had it all. Good speed, power, footwork, head movement. He just had it all, man. And I don't know, it kind of broke my heart that he just stopped fighting. And then we had another fighter from Frankfurt. His name was Willie Boggs. Willie Boggs got killed probably like in 2005.
Yeah, I know him. That's his name is Manzi, right? Manzi.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So Willie Boggs he was just one of my favorites because he had heart, man. He didn't care about nobody. He gonna get in there and rumble. But that's the two I could think off top. I mean, it was a bunch of guys from Philly, man, but those my favorite two. Like I think should have been champion one day. I
Right.
mean,
Okay. So what weight you fight under? What weight?
I fought at 147, 54, 60, 68, 175,
Oh,
heavyweight,
you just running all up and down the way.
cruiserweight. Yeah, I just like fighting, man. I just like fighting.
Yeah. All right. So what you fighting under Saturday? What's that?
Cruiserweight, that's 200.
Okay. So how that
Mhm.
fight gonna go? Give me a prediction. What you gonna do?
I think he kind of wild. He a big dude. He kind of wild. So I got to look out for the wild shit. But me, I'm gonna be relaxed, having fun. I'm looking to land some good body shots early on. You know what I mean? Hit him upside his head with something good, like in the fourth, fifth round, and hopefully get him out in the fifth. I want to knock him out like in the fifth round. We got
Right.
6 rounds, so I don't know. It's gonna be a good fight.
All right. I seen a video of you, right?
Yeah,
A street fight video.
yeah, yeah.
Like, well, I ain't gonna say what was you thinking, right? I'm gonna say, what was he thinking? Was
Well,
he pro?
yeah, he was a fighter too. So the story, all right, I never told the whole story. Like I'm gonna break it down though. He wanted me to train him at one point. So
Okay.
he used to come to the gym from Delaware, I think, but he didn't listen. So one day I was like, bro, I can't train you. You don't listen. Like
Right.
that's not good. You know what I mean? So some weeks went by where I'd be training other people, and he was like, kind of just he just was jumping in, jumping in my way, trying to irritate me, like just doing too much. You know what I mean? So one day he was leaving the gym. It was like a sparring day. So on the sparring days at 101 at that time, it'd be a lot of dudes in the gym. So he was
Right.
leaving out the gym and he had these, the plaid shorts, the little plaid shorts they used to sell at the lot store and all that type shit. So you know how they look like the boxers they used to sell in the pack, the little plaid boxers. So he leaving out the gym, and I think it was Boots was like, "Yo, what do you got drawers on?" Like playing. So he came back to the door and looking in the gym, but he looked dead at me, and I was standing in the doorway, and he looked at me and he was like, "Why you always saying some shit?" So I'm like, bro, I ain't say nothing to you. I'm like, I ain't, you know what I mean? What you talking about? So he said, nah, man, you always got some shit to say. He just was mad, I guess. And I guess that day he just wanted it to be me. So I'm looking around the gym. I'm like, why you trying to go at me? But what I realized is he didn't understand. Like, you know how if you in a gym with a bunch of guys, it's a bunch of fighters in here. They young, they in shape. I think he just thought I'm gonna go at Greg. You know what I mean? Plus, I
Yeah.
got a problem with Greg. Plus, today I just feel like fighting.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
so I just asked him. I'm like, what you like? You really want to rumble or whatever? He like, yeah. So I took my watch off and we went to work
Why y'all ain't get in the ring and spar now?
because we had did that like a month before,
Okay. Okay.
and it was past that with me. I was like, no, I mean, you know how it is. You from the city, like he just was giving me this look, like this
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
big
Yeah. I
look.
get it. I
So I'm
get
like,
it.
oh yeah, he want to go outside, like he want to really see.
The whole video ain't come. Did he go down? Did he go down though?
No, that was just the last shot though. That wasn't the whole video. We was out there for a little minute. We was getting it in, and that was just the last shot. And I actually I chilled off of that. I'm like, man, we done, because I had bust my knuckle with my left hand, I think it was. So I was like, man, we done. He was cut
Yeah.
up a little bit too. You couldn't see it on the video, but he was cut up, bleeding. So I'm like, man, I ain't gonna keep just rumbling this boy.
Yeah. They broke it up or y'all just stopped.
No, that was it. I'm like, you good, bro. Like if you was there, you would see what I'm talking about. Like the video you can't really see, but like he was chopped up, so it was like I'm not gonna keep rumbling this boy.
Right. Right. All right. So let's get it back into this match Saturday. Let's see how it's gonna go and where's it
Mhm.
at? First of all, let everybody know where's it at.
It's gonna be in Newark, Delaware, at the Boys and Girls Club in Newark, Delaware. I think that's like an hour away from the city, hour and some change away from the city. Um, yeah, Saturday first fight would probably be like 7 o'clock. We're gonna have a good time.
How, how many fights on the card?
I think it's like six or seven,
Okay. All right.
six or seven
Cool.
pro fights. Yep.
Yeah. So you'll go out there and do your thing Saturday, right?
Yeah, I feel good. I feel good. I just
Yeah.
want to get there. Really, I just want. I got a lot going on. I just had a baby girl last week. I mean, earlier this week.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations
So
on that.
yeah, so it's just a lot going on. I just want to get it over with.
Yeah. Your son fight too, right? You got a son
My
that fight too.
no, my son used to fight, but he played football and he wrestled now.
Okay.
And I got
Okay.
another son that played basketball and football.
Okay. So you ain't none of your kids ain't rumbling. You don't really want them to, or you just
I mean, boxing ain't. It's not really a sport. Like you can't really just jump in and out of boxing. And my
right.
oldest son, I kind of was training him from when he was like 5 years old till he was like 13. So I think I kind of burnt him out too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I'm not gonna force him to do it because I know how it is. I know how it could wear on you mentally. You know what I mean? About how this shit is. Because if you think about it, football, you don't gotta be on a diet for football. You know what I
Right.
mean? And on football, you get breaks and shit like that. And you got teammates to encourage you and shit like that. And with basketball, it's the same way. With boxing, you can't tag somebody in. You can't ask for help. Like it's on you.
Right.
Everything on you.
Right.
So it's a tough sport. and I don't want to push it on him. I wanted my boys just to know how to fight. Now they
Right.
both could hold their hands, so I'm cool with that.
That's
You know what I
good.
mean?
That's all that matter, right? So
Yeah, that's all.
do people come like to come to you for training? Like say like if somebody wanted to just like a girl or something, they don't even do they come to you for
Yeah,
training like that? Okay.
yeah. I got people who come in just to like get some weight off, try to get some shape, get some tips. I got people who just want to know how to defend themselves. You know what I mean? I got a couple old heads that'll never fight. They just want to come in there and work out, stuff like
Right.
that. You know what I
Right.
mean? I show them some stuff. Yeah, I got people like that.
Okay. All right. Now, what one thing I want to ask you about, right? Since you boxing historian in Philly, right? It
Yeah.
was a kid like maybe 10 years named Stephen what was his name? Stephen Foster or something like that. Whatever happened to that kid?
Oh, Lil Foster. I think he in military school or something like that.
Oh, so
Yeah, I
he
think he
gave up
like
boxing.
yeah, you know what it was? His dad had him really doing a lot of stuff though. He wasn't just doing boxing. He was like, yo, that kid do a lot, man. He was fencing. I think he had him wrestling. He was just doing a lot. And I think now he like in the army or something or something. He doing something.
Oh, okay,
That's crazy you brought him up too, because I ain't seen
right,
him in a minute. Yeah.
yeah. I was like, when I talk to somebody that's no boxing, I'm gonna ask about that kid because I used to
Yeah.
watch and follow that kid for a while, and
Yeah, he
he
could
was
fight.
doing a lot of things.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he can fight, and he can fight. He had like 100 fights or something like that, or something.
Probably did. Yeah, he was moving around. Yeah.
Wow. How many amateur fights you had?
I only had 16,
And then you went pro.
and I turned pro in 2008 when I was 21. And but I had just had my son probably the year before. Yeah, I had my son the year before, and I was back in the gym. I was out the gym, but I got back in the gym. I'm like, man, I gotta get to it. I gotta do something. So I turned pro.
Okay. All right. Now, one more thing I want to ask you before we wrap it up. Um, do you the Jake Paul situation?
Mm.
Do fighters respect Jake Paul as a fighter, or
So this will be all right. So this what we really know about Jake Paul. I'm talking about people in boxing. He really been around the gym, training hard for about a good 5 years before he started all the shit he doing.
okay?
Now, what I respect is the fact that he respect the game so much that he do get guys to spar like real boxing guys. He be
Right,
sparring real boxing guys. You know what I mean? He knew he got to train. He really trained for these fights. The part I don't respect is he talks like he one of the best in the game, but he fight guys he know he has advantage over.
right,
You know? And a lot of them guys don't be boxers. They be
right,
Muay Thai fighters, MMA fighters, a
right.
basketball player, shit like
Yeah,
that. Like
yeah.
that's the part I don't respect. But what I do respect about him is he also started a promotion company and he did put on some fighters, you know what I mean, that needed.
That's yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? So it's
But
so it's like a love-hate thing with him.
the last fight he fought was a professional fighter though, right?
When
That
he fought
last
that,
guy.
yeah, but I never heard of that guy in my life.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I
Me
never
neither.
heard that guy.
And that
And I
guy
think
went and
it
that
was
guy went down too easy too.
yeah, it was too easy. And when everybody asked me about him, I said, listen, the guy may have had a boxing experience, but you could tell he wasn't around nothing good. Like he just sat there and got caught with an uppercut and went out. Like that was I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah. And when he fought Tommy Ferry, it was a
Yeah.
different story. He ain't put him down.
Yeah,
Well,
and but the thing about it, that's the only real boxer that he fought. You know what I
right.
mean? So then you lose to him. So it's like he know what he's doing, but he just found a lane for
You think
himself.
you think he should just come back and get like fighters that fight and be like under like they got a record that's under 10, like they got under 10 fights, professional fights, and he should fight them and that'll be more
I
respectful.
Yeah, I think it'd be respectful as long as he fight guys who really fight, like guys that's really in the gym, guys that really getting ready. You know what I mean? That guy had a pro record that he fought last, but he was from like Wisconsin or something. I don't know where he was from. Somewhere
Yeah,
crazy where they really don't have boxing. Like you know what I mean? It's boxing there, but it ain't like Philly. It ain't like New
right.
York. It ain't like California. You know what I'm saying? So he knew what he was doing. But I think if he fights some guys, you know what I mean, who need exposure, I think that I have respect for him.
All right. So it's been a good half an hour, so we're gonna like wrap it up. Like give us a little bit more about your fight and like where they can find you at and follow you and all that. Let everybody know.
I mean, Greg Hackett 86 on Instagram, Greg Hackett 215 on X, aka Twitter, Greg Hackett on Facebook, GHB TV on YouTube. I appreciate y'all. January 20th, we're gonna be in Newark, Delaware at the Boys and Girls Club, getting it in, man. I appreciate y'all.
All right. Everybody, that was Greg Hackett.